G'day, I'm Brodie Brown, Millionaire Mortgage Secrets. In today's video, I want to share with you a little secret of my very wealthiest clients, and that is don't refinance. And what I mean by that is this message that we get from banks all the fucking time is get a great rate, get a great rate, get a great rate. And they've got us like goldfish, you know, at feeding time when you put the fish flakes in the goldfish bowl and the goldfish are like, and then they're chasing around the food like that. That's how we are with interest rates. Not I am, but it's how most people are, particularly people who aren't good with their money. They're looking for, because they're thinking at such a shallow level, they think that low interest rate or a lower interest rate, 20 basis points, 0.201%, it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. On $1 million loan, 20 basis points is $2,000 a year in interest cost savings. It costs $1,200 to move. Banks are like casinos. You pay to apply, you pay to stay, you pay to leave. Application fees for the new bank. You've got discharge fees for the bank that you're leaving, mortgage deregistration, mortgage re-registration, PEXA fees, documentation fees, $1,200. If you're earning, say for example, you're earning $60 an hour, and it takes you 12 hours to do it, that's $720 in your time to move. So 1,200 plus 720, work it out, call it $2,000. If you've got $1 million loan and you're saving 20 basis points, you're not getting ahead, you're not back to where you started until a year's gone past. The maths is dumb. See what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. So here's a little trick. This is something that so few people are focused on, and I don't know why it is, and it ties into the whole idea of super not being their money. It is your effing money. The employer is paying that money. That cost is being passed on to everybody else who's buying their goods and services, mind you. Okay, that's how it works. So manage your super. It's there for you later on down the track. You should know your fund. I'm not a planner, by the way. Okay, I'm just telling you this. You should know your fund. You should know your fees. You should know what you're getting for those fees. This is it's got to be $1 trillion industry, all right? And in terms of the management fees, you're talking billions of dollars, big money. And the corporates are shafting you, right? This is what they're doing. So don't let them do that to you. I looked at my superannuation fees maybe 6 years ago now. I'm paying 1.4%. I'm thinking to myself, seems a bit high. What am I getting for the money? Like seriously, what am I getting for the money? Jack shit. Now, I got them down to 0.4 of 1%. So 0.4 of 1%. Now, does that seem like a lot? Let's imagine that you had a 300 grand super balance today, and that you were earning 150 grand a year. Over the course of 20 years, this saving equates to $120,000 of savings. 120 grand of savings, a lot. That's 16% of the final superannuation balance. 16%. So meanwhile, people are gold fishing around looking for a 20 basis point saving when this is like make a phone call stuff. This is like move your fund from, I moved from Rest to the Australian Retirement Trust, I think it's called now. It was Sun Super at the time. It was a phone call to my financial planner. It's like, hey dude, can you take care of my super for me? He goes, yeah, okay, cool, I'll have a look at it for you. Filled out a form, boom, and away you go. Like 16% of the final loan balance for a phone call, right? So look, that is how wealthy people are getting ahead, by focusing on the big picture stuff. The most important thing in choosing a lender, other than choosing a lender that's going to facilitate the transaction, whatever that might be at the time, is getting yourself with a lender who is always competitive. So i.e., they're always jostling for that top spot. You're never going to be the cheapest for very long. You never want to be the most expensive, but really, most of the lenders are about 30 or 40 basis points away from one another at any given time, okay? So you want to kind of be in that range of 10 to 20 basis points from the top and the bottom. If you're with any one of the majors, non-majors like your NABs, your CBAs, your AMPs, your Suncorps, your Bankwest, Macquarie's, CBAs, etc. Look, they're all jostling around, right? You want to make sure that you're dealing with me or a very switched on, qualified broker who is going to set you up with the right lender at the beginning. And it means you don't have to refinance. It's just a phone call to the lender, say, are you looking after me? One of my clients from years ago, she's like, yeah, bro, they're fine. I just call them and they're like, are you looking after me? And that's all she says. And they take care of her, okay? They get the rate back in line with the marketplace. That's all you need to do. I understand that from time to time. Look, I've had people leave banks because they don't want to see the weird DEI marketing when they log into their online banking, and they object to it for whatever reason. They decided to leave, and that's fine. Or you got to understand that banks are banks, and at some point they might not do what you want them to do. So you got to move, but don't just move, or don't just think that you have to move for the sake of saving 10 basis points or 20 basis points, because in the end, it makes bugger all difference. The number is the number of years in debt. The shorter the number of years that you're in debt, the less total interest you're going to pay. Remember, if you call a bank and say you're with CBA and you want to move to, I don't know, ANZ, whatever, you're going to call ANZ and they're going to put a sell job on you. They aren't governed by the same kind of legislative compliance that we are. Okay, we've got a big layer of compliance above us as brokers to make sure that we're acting in your best interest. We have an advisor and a client relationship. It's really important that you understand that. When you're dealing with a bank, it's a provider or a company customer relationship. Okay, they're selling a good to you, all right, which is a product. It's money, okay, and they're going to sell you hard, and they're going to tell you, ask a hairdresser if you need a haircut. Oh yeah, of course. Sit right this way, and they don't care, and they don't need to care because they're far too big to have to care. Okay, so choose the right lender at the beginning. Only refinance when you must. If you want to save real money, go looking in your superannuation. If you like these videos, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I don't need the money or the fame or the attention or whatever. It's just nice to know that people are watching. It gives me a bit of encouragement to keep on making these videos for educational purposes and to help you get ahead with your finances. If you want to book a call with me, use the link in the description. Thanks for watching.